Hello everyone, watching today's second video. So we're going to have a look at word next week's 10 days for today's second video. This will take us to around the 16th of December, going into the second half of the month. And we've got more cold weather coming up over the next week to 10 days. And we'll talk about that for today's second video. Interesting 5 days coming up. We've done the 5-day forecast earlier on today, and you find the video to that here on the homepage. Just scroll down page a little bit and you'll find it above the snow desk. There's also a written version which you can get to from the buttons at the top of the page. So we're going to start off stormy. We've got Storm Caroline coming up tonight and tomorrow. Will bring severe gales to the north and some bouts of heavy rain too. Once that gets out of the way through the course of tomorrow, we're left with a very cold Arctic plunge, and that's going to bring risk of snow showers initially and some hard overnight frost. But over the weekend, the Atlantic will have a go at getting rid of that cold air, and there's going to be a bit of a battle going on over the weekend, particularly focused on Sunday. That could lead to a snow event for some parts of the country. In a very, very long time since we've been able to forecast sort of a widespread snow event. It's been many winters since we have had conditions like this that may be coming up at the weekend. So quite unusual weather for the next 5 days. Do check out 5-day forecast if you would like to do that. As I say, this is going to extend out beyond the 5-day forecast, being to deal with the weather through the rest of next week, going into the middle part of December. Before I go on with that though, just to say that the Christmas shop is still open. So if you've got any Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, just click the green button that says Gav's Christmas Shop. It takes you to our Christmas Shop page. You'll know you're on the right page. You'll see the snowflakes floating down the screen. The key to it all is to go through the Amazon banners, because once you go from Gav's Service to Amazon, you'll arrive at Amazon, and then from there you just do Christmas shopping as normal. You don't need to do anything different whatsoever. Just purely the fact that you've gone from Gav's Office to Amazon means we get a revenue fee on the things that you are buying. And a big thank you to everybody for doing that. Remember to go through the Amazon banners within Gav's shop. So big thank you to everybody for doing that. And you've still got plenty of time to get Christmas presents out to you, of course. They're very quick with delivery at Amazon, so there'll be no problems with getting those Christmas presents to you if you order in the next few days. So we're going to begin by having a look at CFS V2. Actually, I'm going to start with this. This is the 700 millibar height anomaly that the CFS V2 was predicting for December a couple of weeks ago. This was generated the period from the 15th to the 24th of December. Very strong zonal signal, you'll notice, above average heights for all of this yellow and orange down to our south and southeast, below average heights up to the northwest, and a very strong classic sort of zonal flow. That's indicating a strong jet stream coming across the Atlantic, and just very Atlantic driven, and you would assume pretty mild month. And in fact, that is what the model was predicting. That was the temperature forecast for the UK and Europe for December 2017, and you'll notice that essentially it's mild from west to east across the whole of the continent. So from Ireland and Portugal out in the west to Russia in the east, and all points in between except down in the Mediterranean. It is it's very much a sea of red and orange above average temperature anomalies. So that's what it was predicted a couple of weeks ago. This is what it's seeing now for December 2017. From the 25th to the 4th of December, this is the 700 millibar height on. It's got the ridge in the Atlantic, from the central Atlantic and mid-Atlantic ridge, and extending it up towards Greenland as well. It's got plenty of blocking up to the north also, those red colours, and then this deep area of below average heights to the east of the UK across Scandinavia. And of course what this does, instead of being a flat westerly southwesterly flow such as it was seeing a couple of weeks ago, it actually brings down much, much colder air from a northerly direction, whether that's northwesterly, northerly or northeasterly. It's a much colder direction compared to what the model was seeing just 2 weeks ago. And of course, this is a temperature anomaly, and look how much this has cooled down. So the red colours, they've been shoved off into the extreme east and southeast of Europe. Elsewhere, it looks a lot cooler. It is still managing to come up with warmer than average temperature anomalies through the central part of Europe, even a little bit across the UK And I think we discount that. It's a very tiny little area. And finally, it has a little bit of blue here. Cold and average temperature anomalies. It's been dragged kicking and screaming to this, but it has come up with some slightly colder than average temperature anomalies there through the south of Spain, through south of France, I should say, and down into Spain as well. I think when we end up, we'll probably find that many western parts of Europe will be coming out with quite a coldish month. I would suspect this area will probably be close to average. And then let's change the colour again. I suspect this area is going to come out generally warmer than average. It'll be interesting to see how those anomalies stack up by the end of the month. But anyway, the CFS V2 has been dragged kicking and screaming to something significantly colder in terms of the synoptic pattern for this month, and also in terms of colder temperature anomalies. I should say cooler than temperature anomalies, because it is only a very limited area, but it's seeing colder than average at the moment. But I suspect it will shift further on that in the coming days. But it just goes to show really what a lousy model the CFS V2 is. We use it a lot because basically it's the only free available long-range forecast you can get so much data and information from. But basically it's still quite a lousy model at the best of times, and well, that's just a little bit embarrassing what's happened there through the course of December with CFS V2. So we'll move on and have a look at the GFS next. So we'll have a look at the GFS temperature precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line here is a 30-year upper air temperature average, and we're starting off today. It's very mild across the country. This is for Sheffield today, by the way. Someone's asked to have a look at the ensemble for Sheffield. So we start off very mild today, but the temperatures are downhill all the way, really, from once you get today out of the way. So by the time you get through to Friday, we've gone very cold. We're down to -10 at 850 HPA. That's very cold air for this early in the winter. And then after that, you'll see it's slowly trying to lift temperatures up, but still staying up over the weekend into next week quite substantially below average. It's not until we get right to the very, very end of the ensemble chart that the white line here, which is the ensemble means, that takes all the individual coloured lines of spaghetti, as I call them, takes them all together and comes up with a mean sort of line of what mean average line of the ensemble, until right at the very, very end, going through up towards the Christmas period, that we finally see the white line getting back to the 30-year temperature average. And even by then, there is a lot of scatter. There are many members of the ensemble, even then, that are quite significantly cold on average, albeit several are on the warmer than average side as well by this point leading up towards Christmas. But it's a really, really long way off that, and I don't think we should take that at all seriously. Essentially, certainly for the next week to 10 days, once we get today out of the way, it is a pretty cold outlook, and with precipitation as well. So that's the rainfall spikes associated with the cold front that's going to lower the temperatures tomorrow. Then through Friday to Saturday, a reasonable amount of dry weather, but there will be snow showers, particularly on Friday. And then, of course, we've got these precipitation spikes coming through just here, associated with these quite cold temperatures as well. So that's a mix of rain or possibly snow. We are shaping up to get a snow event across some parts of the country on Sunday. There could be a very significant dumping of snow for some areas on Sunday. The specifics of that and the area where that happens is to be defined still and firmed up on, but there is definitely the risk of something quite significant happening on Sunday in terms of snow. And then beyond that, it is quite a cold and wintry outlook through much of next week as well. For Sheffield, these are the surface temperatures and air pressure GFS ensemble. So let's just have a quick look at those. So it's dealing with surface temperature first of all. We're starting off quite mild, actually around 10 degrees Celsius, but we're going to see those temperatures dropping like a stone. So by the end of the week and into the weekend, this is 0 degrees just here, and by then, certainly in Sheffield anyway, we are really struggling to get those temperatures much above freezing by the weekend and into by the end of the week and into the weekend. And also the minimum temperatures, they're going down to a really very low level indeed, going down close to -5 degrees. Now, a little bit of a recovery takes place in the temperature later next week. Still cold, but it does struggle its way up to around 5 degrees Celsius, or maybe a little bit under 5 degrees. But that then is pretty much where it sticks right the way through. So again, that's 5 degrees Celsius just there. And we don't really get above that in Sheffield right the way through to the end of the ensemble, actually, which is running up towards Christmas. By then, there are a few mild outliers appearing. So we've got that one just there, going up above 10 degrees Celsius, another one there, and one there that's getting close to 10 degrees Celsius. But again, many ensemble members are keeping things cold at or under 5 degrees Celsius at Sheffield for this run-up towards Christmas. So I would suggest even going towards Christmas, it is by no means certain that we're going to turn things particularly mild, and we may actually keep things really quite cold. In terms of the air pressure at Sheffield, so we're starting off at around 1,025 millibars. We're going to drop the pressure tomorrow as that cold front and Storm Caroline comes through. Then we lift the pressure up at the end of the week before we drop it again over the weekend into next week. This is associated with the low pressure. It's bringing risk of snow event, of course, on Sunday and Monday. And then the gradual trend, perhaps after that, is to begin to lift the pressure up. Now, this is quite interesting because as we get towards the Christmas, there are some hints within the GFS ensembles. You can't particularly make that out through here, but there are a few hints within the GFS ensembles. But as we get towards the run-up to Christmas, we might start to raise the pressure and move it up towards Scandinavia, with perhaps a threat of some easterly winds as we run up towards Christmas. I won't say any more about that at the moment because I don't want anybody running away with the idea we're going to get a white Christmas or anything like that. But that's just cropping up a little bit at the moment within the extended range of the GFS models, that we might get a bit of a build of pressure towards Scandinavia sometime close to Christmas. Temperature anomalies for the next week are looking cold. So this is the temperature anomaly from the 6th to 14th of December. It's cold on average for the UK and Ireland, as it is for many northwestern parts of Europe as well. You see the warmth is over in the east of Europe and down in the southeast Europe as well. So it's a bit of a flip around on what we had last year. Last winter, you remember, the warmth tends to be up in the north and northwest of Europe, with the cold weather down in the south and the east and the southeast of Europe. This year's a bit of a flip on that so far, but we are very early days in terms of the overall winter, of course. It's one of the nature's balancing acts that as the northwest of Europe is cold, the southeast of Europe will tend to be warmer than average, and it happens in the reverse as well. So in the southeast of Europe is quite cold, and that tends to be the typical setup, particularly in sort of recent winters, whereas the northwest of Europe tends to be mild in that scenario. The weather, the climate is always looking for an equilibrium. It's always looking to balance itself out. It can never manage to find an equilibrium, and that's why you have weather. But it's always looking for it. So if one place is warm, another place will be cold, and vice versa. And it's the same is true with areas of high pressure and areas of low pressure, troughs and ridges, all of that kind of thing. Temperature anomalies for the precipitation anomalies, I should say, for the next week, the 6th to 14th of December, they're coming out wetter than average. So we've got a colder than average week coming up. We've got a wetter than average week coming up. That could well spell the chance of snow. The temperature anomaly in America as well is cold on average on the eastern side of America. So there is an idea that goes around that if the eastern parts of America are cold, we will always be mild. But that's not the case. We see in the next week to 10 days, we are going to have the west of Europe cold and the east of America cold as well. So both sides of the Atlantic are going to be cold in the coming week to 10 days. In terms of the precipitation anomaly, many parts of America are going to be dry. It is a bit wetter in the far eastern coastal areas, but much of the states actually coming out drier than average. This is how the GFS is looking for Sunday. We're going to bring this area of low pressure in. This is one that's threatening to bring snow in from off the Atlantic on Sunday. The exact track of this is very much up in the air. And as I said in the Friday forecast, don't rule out the chance, although at the moment it's being brought in across England and Wales, don't rule out the chance in the end it may finish up doing something like that, going down to Biscay and France, and possibly we miss out on this event, except maybe in the very far southwest and Channel Islands. That is something that can happen quite a lot with these slider lows. So we do have to keep firm up on what's going to happen on Sunday, to say the least. By the time we go through to Monday, we're back into that cold northerly wind again, and then as we go through the course of next week, so we bring another low pressure through. This one's a bit further north at the moment, so it has a bigger, warmer sector, but again, just as that first low on Sunday might be trended southwards, so this low pressure Tuesday to Wednesday might be trended southwards as well. So the wintry potential with that could increase over the coming few days. By the time you go through to the end of next week, we're back into these cold northwesterly winds once again. This is taking us up to day 10, which is Saturday 16th of December, possibly trying to build a little bit of high pressure across the country then within quite cold air. I'll just run you through to the extended range of the GFS. This is it. We're going up to, as far as we can go, Friday 22nd of December. So running up towards Christmas, and by the way, we'll have the 17th Christmas update for you tonight. So we're running up towards Christmas. And it is a little bit milder by this point, but notice all of this high pressure that's sitting up to the north. This is high pressure here, this high pressure over there, this high pressure here. And it wouldn't take that much of an adjustment for that to start to turn the winds into the east by the time we go through towards Christmas. So as I say, there's just a few hints within the GFS output, extended output at the moment, of a chance of getting winds into the east for Christmas, but let's say no more about that at the moment. ECMWF looks like this. So there's the risk of rain or snow across the country Sunday to Monday. You'll notice much further north with this low pressure with the ECMWF on Sunday to Monday. So there's a greater area of rain, I think, compared to what GFS is doing, but also heavy snow is in there with that, particularly through the central part of the country. By Tuesday, we're back to those cold northerly winds again. This is that next area of low pressure coming in midweek, a bit further north with this one, so greater potential for rain for some parts of the country. But as that pushes across the country, it turns winds back into the north again, so we renew the northerly winds into the second half of next week. That looks like it could be very wintry by Friday, 15th of December. Low pressure is in the North Sea, but wind remains from the north. It's a cold northerly wind coming down there. And that's how we finish up on day 10, which is Saturday 16th of December, and it looks pretty cold and pretty wintry as well. I'll just show you the snow potential from the ECMWF for Sunday, so you can get an idea of what the ECM is doing for this weekend. So this is from weather.us. You can find a link to this website on the links page. This is the snow depth forecast from the ECMWF for Friday. Most of the snow showers in the north and the west. That's where we have the risk of snow cover. Let's run through to Saturday. And very little has changed. Some increase in the snow depth in the north and west purely from those snow showers, but essentially many parts of the country don't really have much in the way of snow from Friday to Saturday. Right, Sunday is the interesting day. So this is how things look early on Sunday. Again, most of the snow is in the north and west, but as we run through, look what happens. This takes us through the day. On Sunday, you see that blue and purple area is expanding. So this is by Sunday afternoon, where it's seeing heavy snow and deep snow as well across much of Wales, northern England, southwest Scotland. We're going up to around sort of 6 to 8 inches there of snow. Even down in towards the Midlands, we're getting a good covering of snow, 3 or 4 inches through many parts of the Midlands. It's only down in the south, really to the south of the M4, and down in southwest England away from the moors, that it is mostly predicted to be rain. Also a snow event being predicted for Northern Ireland as well from Sunday through towards Monday from the ECMWF. That's how things are looking with snow depth by Monday. Very deep snow cover being predicted here from Scotland, Northern England down to Wales, and quite a bit through the Midlands, East Anglia as well. This might be overdoing it. I've not used these charts at weather.us before from the ECMWF bar, so it'll be very interesting to see through this winter how these charts perform. Before we get to that, we do have a risk of some snow on Thursday night to Friday. This is the latest from the Euro 4 from Weather Online. So this is the precipitation type forecast for 6 o'clock in the evening on Thursday. Wintry showers piling into the north and the west. As far as we can go with Euro 4 at the moment, it's at 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday, when we've got snow showers for many parts of Scotland, down through much of Northern Ireland as well, into northwest England, and some snow showers even coming through the Midlands on Friday morning as well. Possibly in parts of the Midlands could wake up to a little dusting of snow on Friday morning. That's as far as we can go with Euro 4 at the moment. But it does look quite wintry, and we know that from beyond that, the risk of snow increases over the weekend. So it's a very interesting, very wintry outlook at the moment. We'll do Snow Watch tomorrow, when we'll have a greater idea about this snow event on Sunday, I think. So Snow Watch will be coming up for you tomorrow. Right, that's brought you up to date with everything. I extended a video again today. It's really interesting time at the moment, particularly for anybody that likes cold and snowy weather. Remember, this evening, 7 o'clock, we'll have a 17th Christmas update, so come back for that then. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.